Imagine losing your right to own a gun, maybe for something non-violent that happened years ago. It's real for millions. And most people, they think those rights are just gone for good. But what if there's a way back? Why aren't people using it? And how can your voice change things? By the end of this, you'll know exactly what's happening and what you can do. Okay, let's get into it. There's this huge chance right now for maybe over 25 million Americans.
Yeah, a chance to get their federal gun rights back. It's under a law called 18 U.S.C.
25C. So in simple terms, what is that exactly?
Well, it's basically a federal rule that lets people with past convictions ask for relief from that lifetime federal ban on having firearms.
Okay, so it's an application process.
Exactly. And what's really key right now is the Department of Justice, they're actually writing the rules for how this whole thing will work.
So this isn't just talk, it's happening now.
It's live, yeah. The public, that means you listening, you have a real chance to say how these rules should look. The comment period is open.
But here's the kicker, right? Millions affected. You'd think there'd be a huge response.
You would think. But the numbers we're seeing, they're low. Shockingly low, actually.
How low are we talking?
We'll get into the specific numbers, but it's nowhere near what you'd expect given how many people this could help.
Okay, so today we need to break down this federal rule. Look at the arguments, especially around who should be disqualified.
And really stress why your input right now is so incredibly important. The silence is kind of deafening.
All right, let's dig into 925C itself first. You said it lets people apply for relief. What's the thinking behind it?
Yeah, the core idea, it's really about redemption, second chances. It acknowledges that people can change,
So if you've done your time, stayed out of trouble.
Exactly. If you can show you're not a danger to public safety anymore, the thinking is you deserve a chance to get your rights back. It's about not being punished forever for a past mistake.
We saw comments reflecting that, didn't we? People sharing their stories.
Absolutely. We look at one from someone with a felony conviction from way back. They talked about completely turning their life around, stable job, family, contributing to the community, zero trouble for decades.
And their point was that 925C isn't automatic, right?
Not at all. It's just the chance to make your case, to show, look, I'm rehabilitated, I'm responsible, I'm not a threat, let me be heard.
That makes sense. It connects to a bigger argument, too, about fairness.
It really does. Many argue that denying fundamental rights, like guns or even voting, to people who've paid their debt for, say, nonviolent crimes, it creates this, invisible wall.
Keeps them as second-class citizens, basically.
That's the argument, yeah. That the law needs to be smarter, differentiate between violent and nonviolent past, and allow reform people to, fully rejoin society with dignity. Individual assessment, not a blanket, no forever.
We even saw one comment call it restoring a God-given right. Shows how deep this runs for some people.
Definitely highlights the Second Amendment belief system for many folks. It's personal?
Okay, but it's not simple. There are big hurdles, big controversies in how these rules are being written.
Oh, absolutely. Big ones.
One of the stickiest points seems to be Section 107.1A6. What's that about?
That's the proposal for a blanket ban.
Yeah.
Disqualification for anyone who is a registered sex offender. No exceptions mentioned.
Regardless of the crime. Or how long ago?
That's how it reads, and it raises a huge question. Is just being on a registry the same as being currently dangerous?
What do the comments say about that?
The ones we saw argue strongly no. They point out that in most places registration is automatic. It's based on the conviction type, sometimes for life. It's not based on someone checking if you personally are still a risk today.
So someone reformed for 30 years gets treated the same as someone just released?
Pretty much, which seems to fly in the face of the whole point of 925C. That individualized review.
Hasn't the Supreme Court weighed in on registration before?
It has. They've basically said registration is a civil thing for public safety notification. It's not meant to be extra punishment or a continuous judgment of dangerousness. That context is really important here.
Okay. What about the data the DOJ is using?
That's another big criticism we saw. The recidivism data they seem to be citing, it often focuses on a very specific high-risk group.
Like who?
Like people released after serving time for violent rape or sexual assault, applying that data to everyone on a registry, including people convicted of, say, nonviolent computer offenses years ago.
That seems like comparing apples and oranges.
Critics call it an overbroad generalization, yeah. Bad data leading to potentially bad policy that doesn't fit the diverse reality of who is actually on these registries.
And it's not just the sex offender issue, right? We saw other examples of broad bans.
Definitely. That comment about Pennsylvania law was striking.
Remind me?
Causing a public disturbance, something relatively minor in the grand scheme, could lead to a lifetime ban on buying a gun there.
Wow. That really shows how wide the net can be cast.
It does. And it fuels the calls we saw for much clearer, narrower definitions in these federal rules.
Like what kind of definitions?
Well, one suggestion was basically, unless it was murder, a sex crime, or a federally defined crime of violence, your rights should maybe be automatically restored after, say, 15 conviction-free years.
So drawing much brighter lines.
Exactly. There's this real worry that agencies are stretching the rules beyond what the law intended, creating more and more lifetime prohibitions.
Okay, this is a lot to take in. So bringing it back to the listener, what can people do right now? This feels urgent.
It is urgent because, like we said, the Department of Justice is literally asking, tell us what you think. They want public comment to guide these final rules.
And you mentioned the numbers were low earlier. How low?
This source we looked at, Your Voice, Federal Gun Rights Restoration, put it starkly. Over 25 million people could benefit. But so far, only about 501 comments have been submitted.
501 out of millions potentially impacted.
Yeah, it's a tiny fraction, a whisper, really.
We saw that frustration in the legal Gangsta piece, too.
Right. They basically said, everyone complains the system's unfair, but the government is asking how to write the rules, and people aren't showing up. It's a critical moment being missed by many.
And the questions they're deciding are huge.
Life-changing stuff. Like, should a nonviolent felony from 20 years back ban you for life? Should timelines differ based on the crime? What checks are actually reasonable? Your comments influence these answers.
Answers that will be set in stone soon.
Once the rules are final, that's it. The chance to weigh in is gone.
Which means there's a deadline.
A hard deadline.
Yeah.
October 20th, that's the last day. At 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, the comment period closes.
Let's pause for a second. If you've lost your gun rights, Legal Gangsta's 925C Made Simple workbook shows you exactly how to start getting them back. Prepare now so you'll be ready when the application window opens up. Get it now at legal-gangsta.com. That's legal-gangsta.com. Okay, so for anyone listening who feels like they need to speak up, what are the exact steps?
It's pretty straightforward, actually. The Legal Gangsta laid it out clearly.
Walk us through it.
Okay, first step. Go to the website regulations.gov.
That's regulations.gov.
Correct. Second, you need to search for the specific docket. The number is OAG 191.
OAG-19.
1.
Yeah.
OAG 191. Once you find it, third step, click the button that says comment.
Okay.
And fourth, just write your truth. Tell them your experience, your perspective. It doesn't need to be fancy legal language.
Just your own word.
Your voice.
Right.
That's what they need to hear. Your story, your opinion on these rules.
It's more than just guns, too, isn't it? It's about participating.
Absolutely. It's basic civic engagement, making sure the people most affected by laws have a say in how they're written. It's about making the system accountable to the community.
So wrapping this up, we've talked about this big opportunity, 18 U.S.C. Section 925C.
Yeah, the chance for millions to potentially restore their rights.
And the strong arguments for looking at people individually, not just slapping on blanket bans based on old labels.
Right, challenging that idea of permanent disqualification without looking at current risk.
But the most critical thing right now
is the need for public input. That low comment number is alarming. Your voice matters in this rulemaking process. It helps define what justice and second chances actually mean in practice.
Because when the government asks for input and gets silence,
others get to write the rules for you. Silence gives away your power.
So engaging isn't just about this issue, it's about responsibility.
It really is.
And listen, if you're in Harris County, Texas specifically, and dealing with a past record, there's a resource. Visit legal-gangsta.com. Get your 10-step Erase Your Criminal Record Guide. Start that journey to freedom and a clean record today. Okay, that's our time for this breakdown. If this was valuable to you, please hit like, subscribe, and definitely share it. Let people know this is happening.
Yeah, spread the word. And leave a comment below with your thoughts on all this.
Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.